I mean, have you ever been on Williams Sonoma? Is that a US brand?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure
UK?
familiar. They might be in the UK. One thing I just had a bit of the epiphany moment. Do you think the fact that a lot of the engineers and designers were stuck at home started to empathize with people, and then like again, this is like it could be. It's not based on any evidence, but if you see that these experiences have been proven, it's like I had to order some IKEA stuff when you're working for IKEA, and you think this is such a pain. Like, wouldn't it be great if blah? And then because the makers become the users and they start to empathize, because not everyone's internet connectivity is going to be amazing. Not everyone's tech setup, especially in the first few months, for sure, was not going to be great. And suddenly you start realizing who you're designing for. Perhaps, again, I get it. It's all hypothetical, but I wonder if that helped, especially the companies which was enabling people to just do stuff for themselves, like you're building your own furniture, or this cooking for yourself, or like providing your own fitness instruction type stuff, like being your own health instructor. Right. I wonder if that was fueled by the makers who were in that situation, which would
I think it's a great hypothesis. I would say yes. I mean, without any data to back it up, it sounds very...
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, right? Like imagine if we were at those companies, right? And we were designing these, and we're in those situations. It's always easier to build things if you can empathize with the customers or the users. A lot of times, products that don't land well, you get people that don't understand the market you're trying to go after. So I totally agree that there was just like this... For one of the first, in our lifetime, everyone was on the same page, right? Like, regardless of your upbringing, background, ethnicity, we were all in the same boat together, and we had to figure it out together, which, hopefully one thing that we can take away from this awful period was that there's a little bit more empathy for people that come from different situations. And empathy from a design perspective is one of the most important skills that people don't emphasize enough.
Yeah. But then also we also have to always acknowledge that we're never our users. Although I imagine, again, this is our guesswork, which, it might be convenient because it's like we're at the end of the tunnel, so we're trying to shape what's happened. Right. But it's always important to try and really observe. You're not always going to be our users, but I think the pandemic has allowed for like eureka moments or like epiphany moments for a lot of designers and developers.
For sure.
It's, just performance, like you realize that even if you're not on the mobile web, not everyone's internet connection is going to be great. You've got multiple connections happening at the same time, people streaming, homeschooling, and you've got to do stuff and order stuff online. Patience is weighing thin. Like, all these things do contribute. So yeah, no, I mean, these are good tips, I think. And e-commerce is not my strongest space.
Last one, what was that?
E-commerce is not my biggest thing, but
that was like that's why I was like pick the topic, because it's one of my bread and butters. But last one, just to kind of bring it all home, and then we'll summarize some of our top tips.
Yeah.
But Drizzly, which I don't believe is in the UK because it's only in the US right now, but it's basically Uber Eats for alcohol, the digital marketplace for alcohol that works with local retailers that has been experienced dramatic growth in sales. The week of March 30th, Drizzly's sales were up almost 500% over its baseline of 8 weeks prior. Approximately 40% of recent orders have been from new customers. Again, another company, right time, right place, but they did improve the experience significantly. Like, I remember using it back in the day, and I just could not use it. But it's a phenomenal, like the experience that I've used it in the past. It's very similar to Uber Eats, easy to find.
Do you know what's really interesting? Like, I was doing my own, like, there's a course which I created on Skillshare, which is like a free course that anyone can sign up with. And when you're creating a course, trying to teach the principles of UX, I come up with this fake app, which was like Uber Eats, but for coffee. And I kept thinking, this would never fly, because why would someone want to do that? And then what I noticed during the pandemic is people still wanted these, like, premium coffees, like the lattes with the syrups. And so a lot of these coffee companies were partnering up with Uber Eats or equivalents to actually do the coffee delivery. And I was like, man, if I had just done this startup on my own.
Well, there's another, it's so funny because there's like the Uber for X,
of course,
for everything. But there's two things. One is that people, I heard someone talk about, like, what about Uber Eats or like Uber for trucking, where like the truck has to go pick stuff up. I was like, that's not Uber trucking. That's just trucking. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. They go to a location,
DHS or like FedEx.
Yeah, that's just like normal supply chain. But the other one that was popular is that like, so you have all of Uber Eats is like all genres of food. So another really popular company in the U.S. or delivery service is Slice, and they just do pizza.
Oh, okay.
So it's just pizza restaurants. So their niche is like, we are going to be the best and have all the pizza and all the discounts for pizza lovers. Arguably because that's probably the top performing, takeout option in the U.S. I would imagine. I'm not sure.
Will they do all the brands or just like the artisan ones as well? Or it's like just everything?
They do all.
Okay.
They'll do. So I think they do everything besides like
the major
Papa
ones.
John's, and like they won't do like the big corporate chains, but they'll do every mom and pop shop like in your area, which is pretty cool if the mom and pop shop signs off on it. And obviously during COVID, companies that never did delivery pretty much had to do it in order to survive.
No, absolutely. No, and also there's like a sort of social aspect to the selling point as well, right? You want to help your local businesses and whatnot.
Yeah.